Hundreds of the best and brightest zoo and wildlife specialists from all over the world are in Houston right now, and that's for the American Association of Zoo Veterinarians. It's an annual conference that's being held in the Galleria area. And joining us this morning is Dr. Rob Hilsenroth, Executive Director of the AAZV. Doctor, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. And you?
I am great, sir. Thank you so much. I'll tell you on a personal note, my family and I, we love our Houston Zoo. And, you know, maybe we just take for granted the fact that the animals are there without giving credit to all the veterinarians behind the scenes. So can you tell us more about your organization and what's going on this week?
Sure. We're a membership organization. We have about actually 1,300 members worldwide. But these are zoo veterinarians and wildlife veterinarians. And the two main things we do is we produce the Journal of Zoo and Wildlife Medicine. And we also have this annual conference. In medical sciences, everything you learn today, about 7 years from now, 50% of what you learned is obsolete. So you have to have a continuing education. And that's what we're all about. Veterinarians, excuse me, can go to the Texas Veterinary Medical Association meeting, but they're not going to learn how to do a biopsy in a rhinoceros at the Texas VMA meeting. This is a really specialty, so we get veterinarians. We have about 450 of them here now.
No kidding. So what are you focusing on this year for the conference?
Well, it's varied. A lot of it is anesthesia, megavertebrate anesthesia. I mean, you think about your dog and your cat. If they have a surgical procedure, it's pretty routine and what have you. But when you have to anesthetize a hippopotamus and you shoot a dart to anesthetize him and then he runs into the water and he could drown and all, I mean, all these issues are just crazy. So anesthesia is a big one. Some of the new surgical techniques that are coming around and management. But basically, the main thing that zoos are focusing on now and zoo veterinarians is animal welfare. It's not just enough to keep them healthy and alive, but it's to give them a quality life that mimics what they would see in the wild.
Is that sort of a new phenomenon? I mean, how did we arrive at that point from maybe the earlier zoo days?
Yeah, when I was a kid, the name of the game was put as many animals in as small a place as you could and get as many animals into your facilities. And then over the 70s and 80s and 90s, zoos became aware of the fact that we're dealing with endangered species now. You can't just go get a new animal when one dies. And now we're talking about educating the public about the plight of so many species. We're in a rapid extinction mode because of humans mainly, and taking up environment and all that kind of stuff. So we really focus now the zoos and aquariums on getting messages out and educating people to be ecologically friendly.
So with that growth in mind, do you feel like the industry as a whole is making some headway, making some gains in that field, maybe whether it is saving species or the education part?
Yeah, both counts. We brought the California condor as a great example, black-footed ferrets. Here in the United States, of animals that were on the brink of extinction that have come back because of the work that veterinarians, zoo and wildlife veterinarians have done. So we're really, really doing well with that. Educating the public is difficult, but we feel that if the public does take advantage of their local zoos and go eyeball to eyeball with an animal, you'll have much more of a incentive to help do what you can to prevent extinction.
Hey, Doctor, what can you tell us about this Wild Animal Health Fund?
So we started this program about 10 years ago, and we raised money from the public to fund research for zoo animals and wildlife. Over the years, we've done a lot of research and started with agricultural animals. 150 years ago, we did a lot of research on dairy cattle and beef cattle and horses and pigs and what have you. And then in the 50s and 60s, we really accelerated the research on dogs and cats. But nobody's paid that much attention to zoo animals and wildlife. And if we don't understand their physiology and drug interactions and all that kind of stuff, we're going to lose the game of extinction. So we started this fund. We're funding $250,000 a year now. The veterinarians apply for grants to do the research. We have a research grant committee that selects them, and then we monitor them. And hopefully we're making a big dent in the knowledge base that we need to have.
What do you think is one of the bigger challenges, or the biggest challenge, if you could identify one, on that education side? I mean, it's trying to teach us humans that it could be the smallest species that maybe we've never heard of, but trying to explain to a layman, this little thing here is very important to our ecosystem, to all of us as people even.
So here's the analogy. You're flying in a jet plane, a rivet pops out. What happens to that airplane? Nothing. Nobody notices, right? How about 2 rivets? How about 3 or 4? At what point does the airplane fall apart and come crashing down? In ecosystems, you talk about all the animals and all the plants in an ecosystem, and you can lose 1 or 2 or 3, but at what point does that ecosystem come crashing down? The Houston Zoo is famous for its work on the Houston toad that they brought back from the brink of extinction. And so you don't know, you're exactly right, whatever animal you're dealing with, Owen, it doesn't matter whether it's a tiny little invertebrate or whether it's a megavertebrate like a mountain gorilla. They're all important, and we treat them equally as far as importance goes.
Well, we hope you have a good conference this week. We hope it's successful. Where can folks watching go for more information on the organization and what you guys do?
So for the Wild Animal Health Fund, it's just that as one word, wildanimalhealthfund.org. And they can get all the information they want about what we're doing is with the AZV. And if anybody is inclined to help support research to fund zoo animal and wildlife research, that's the place to go.
Dr. Rob Hilsenroth, Executive Director of the AAZV. Dr. Hilsenroth, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's good to be here.